going on, y'all? About to check out Destiny having a meltdown. Apparently, he was on Piers Morgan, started spazzing out. Man, we're going to check out this video via Justin Reloaded. Let's get straight into it. Hit the like button, share the video as well. And check out my previous video if you're able to. It helps out a lot. This joint not working.
You say that the Biden administration has done nothing to meddle with the DOJ. He has literally pardoned his son, who's been convicted of criminal offenses. That is.
Why did you just say bingo? What do you think a pardon is? How is a pardon meddling in the DOJ?
You don't think it's meddling with justice?
Because the DOJ and the judge even said yesterday
that
this was the most despicable abuse.
Destiny just purposely be acting delusional. I swear, bro. I swear. I'm not going to make it seem like he's super smart, but you're not dumb, nigga. Like, and you're playing stupid right now.
It's a power. Go listen to what the judge said, who's not a conservative judge, who wrote a scathing rebuke of the Biden administration's abuse of power after there had been a conviction for his son.
Destiny finally gets called out by Piers Morgan live on this panel. The entire panel actually turns against Destiny because of his inaccuracy, and Piers Morgan finally snaps and puts him in the corner.
Go read what the judge wrote, and you might understand.
I'm sorry. Do you think that when does a pardon happen if not after a conviction? What do you think a pardon is for? Is every single pardon?
That wasn't my point. My point. Destiny.
Please, let me say this. If this is the part
where Piers, shut your ass up, Piers.
No, listen to what you're saying. You just said that you only give a pardon when someone's been convicted. If that was true, they wouldn't have just given a 10-year absolute pardon to Hunter Biden for a bunch of crimes he committed in case he is actually investigated for the damn crime.
The whole point of issuing that pardon is to make it so that you guys can't spend the next 4 years playing Hillary's emails with Hunter Biden. That's the whole point. Because that's what you guys do. Like you tried with Hillary, like you tried with Benghazi and failed over and over and over again with all these bullshit investigations. You do like you've done now with Hunter Biden.
Destiny.
And that never happened. Donald Trump. Okay, that never happens with Donald Trump. Never happens. Destiny is so just unhinged in this rant. It's ridiculous. Like, literally, Donald Trump faced 34 counts, right? He's a felon. He has a mugshot. And you're upset because of Hillary Clinton. Where's Hillary Clinton's mugshot? All right, where's that at? Make sure you guys like this video.
Bill Clinton.
Hang on.
Hillary Clinton might not have a mugshot, but she act like the dictator. Remember that movie, The Dictator? Oh, man. The same dude from Borat. That's how Hillary do. That's how she giving signals, nigga. In fact, just in case anyone was wondering, I'm not feeling sad right now. Not in any way, shape, or form. I'm cool.
Oh, Destiny, to be clear, Destiny,
in the House, going to bring in
Destiny,
charges, Joe Biden, and has nothing. But here you
Destiny,
are, saying lies about the Biden crime family.
Destiny,
what did I lie
hang
about?
on, please. Can I get involved here? Destiny, I'll question for you. Because Gavin Newsom, who was one of the most vocal supporters of Biden, even when everyone else was chucking him under a bus, even he has come out and said, cannot support this decision. Do you actually support what Biden has done? You support
absolutely, 100%.
Wow.
So actually, in the end, you do support
democracy
and shamelessness and obstructing justice. You support all those things.
Yeah.
No, what the pardon of Hunter Biden is a trillion of what Donald Trump. It's not even close.
And if Trump had done this, to Donald Trump Jr., you'd have said the complete opposite. Anyway, look, let me segue to...
In Donald Trump's administration, after the traitors, over here that support Donald Trump, tried to overthrow the government in 2020, after they tried to overthrow the government and failed, people like Eastman and Giuliani were asking to be put on the pardon list.
All right,
okay?
This idea that it was an attempt to overthrow the government is so blown out of proportion. I mean, I know so many people who are talking about going to this protest. There were protests at every single capital in the United States. I went to the one in Phoenix. It was called Stop the Steal protest. It was never, ever, ever about intimidation or a fear tactic. Mostly what had happened was it was hard for people to figure out what was going on because YouTube jumped in immediately, and most of these social media sites jumped in immediately, and they were not allowing discussion of what had taken place. So everybody had to rally together like in the old days and go to the Capitol, where you saw, in Phoenix, there was Charlie Kirk, Brandon Tatum, a couple other guys there who were discussing and talking about it, because the social media, oligarchs didn't allow it to happen.
They were.
Okay, let me...
The J6 attack. And guess what? When he does, Piers, you're going to have a 20-minute segment on it, and you're going to move on to see if you can dig up something else about
Piers,
the Bidens or Kamala Harris.
No, I will go after.
You guys are all just jealous that
Trump
he's mad.
Destiny over there having a full-blown meltdown, bro. He's spurging like it's nobody's business. Right? Anyone that has sense is looking at him like, why are you going so crazy?
Massively endowed, and so it's his
sorry,
dad.
hang on.
Anybody
Hey,
else.
Francesca, sorry, what was that?
I was just saying, I mean, the only crime, I guess, in Ben's eyes that Hunter Biden really committed was showing just how well endowed the Biden family is. And I can see from Ben's perspective how that, might feel like, a crime against him and his
defending
manhood.
a man that abused women. But as a woman, you should at
abuse
least
women.
understand that there were
Paying
women
for
that were
sex work
abused
is abusing
sexually.
women? I don't think so.
I would
Were they
say
17?
yes.
Were they 17 and trafficked over state lines? Nah,
when
man.
you're trafficking women and getting them addicted to drugs, yeah, that's abusing
You mean Matt
women.
Gaetz?
If you want to say
Shout out to the dude in the back that's like, that's not the only thing he did. Yo, that's facts though. Oh no, that's like ultimate facts. Yeah. Yeah, that's what it's like out here in these streets. It's crazy.
if that's good, that's on you.
Look, here's the difference between the pardons between Trump and Joe Biden, right?
Little things like, you mean Matt Gaetz could actually get you hit with a lawsuit. Just putting that out there. These people have to be very careful with this, because you can't say that. You can't say like Matt Gaetz and throw that out there.
Right? Number one, Joe does this to troll y'all, and so you have something to talk about. But number two, people that Donald Trump pardoned, not only included everyone who allowed and helped him to back channel with the Russian government in the 2016 campaign, like Paul Manafort, like Roger Stone.
We're back to Russia collusion.
They didn't even get in trouble.
Are we really back to Russia collusion? One of the great...
Because it
Yo, nobody taking her ass serious. They're like, okay, shut up. They treating her like Meg from Family Guy right now.
We're back to Russia collusion, which was one of the great lies
Jared Kushner's
of
father,
that
Charles
whole period.
Kushner. Charles Kushner is now going to be the ambassador
We're
to
going
France.
Full conspiracy theory now.
He also pardoned the Blackwater
this is why we won,
employees who murdered 14 unarmed Iraqi civilians that we know about thanks to Chelsea Manning whistleblowing, right? And to WikiLeaks. He pardoned those monsters. He's pardoned a lot of people. And so those people arguably have had more impact on my life than Hunter Biden and his laptop and $1.4 million in tax evasion. Years. You know you do that like on a Tuesday. Come on. Wait, hang on. Guys. Oh, my beeper's going off. Sure, Dusky's a bitch. Oh.
This is corny.
It's like a comic.
She rehearsed that and it was bad. It was bad. You're clip farming. I know Piers Morgan usually give people, the right to clip it and put it on their channels. Is that was like popping in these streets when it comes to you? That's what you like? Word, son? Just like this. Your fans thought that was hot fire?
A very bad reputation of female comics. People already don't think are funny. I don't know.
That's good. That's good.
Facts.
What the heck is she doing? She's trying so hard to be quirky. Do you guys like her? What's her name? Francesca or something like that?
I think the problem right now...
Except I just own your ass. But you look really cute in your sweater.
You made a very lame joke that was 3 weeks old. Congratulations. Very funny.
I thought you were making that joke.
With the Biden.
Tell me about your joke again.
Sorry, Destiny.
Okay.
Well, the two...
They not letting Sweater get his shit off. He ain't let Sweater talk the whole time.
MAGA people here, will you guys defend when Donald Trump pardons the January 6th rioters? or anybody that was convicted in connection to the January 6th stuff, if he goes for the seditious conspiracy people, will you defend that pardon?
This is what they always do. Leftists always bring this up and say, oh, well, are you going to defend the January 6th pardons? Like every single American citizen who's pro-Trump should just have every single case memorized like the back of their hand, because what they do is they strategically pick out one or two bad actors within the January 6th protest. And then they say, oh, well, what about this person who actually beat up a cop and he left him bruised and beat up? Oh, did you think about this person? Oh, what about this? Because they hyperfixate on the few. And these people aren't actually going out and studying the reports themselves. They're just getting it fed to them by somebody else.
Yeah, 100%. They finding their little talking points and just repeating the same thing over and over again. That's all they're doing. Right? They're not really about nothing.
Who's doing the research? Destiny is one who actually does sit down and go through topics, but most of the time, these people on the left, they're just reading articles while somebody else does the hard work. And those articles have a bias that only talk about the specifics. They don't talk about the political imprisonment that happened with a lot of them. For somebody who is so leftist and so pro-democracy, they sure do have a funny way of leaving out the majority so often.
Right?
I've said this before. I'll say it again.
Well, let me bring Ryan in. Hang on. Let me bring Ryan in on that one.
I think with the January 6th, you're talking about several hundred, if not several thousand people. And I think the question is I don't think that he should pardon anyone who did something violent. I don't think that attack, but I do think that when you look at the sentencing and how some January 6th people have been treated is remarkable, considering some people have solitary confinement for months on end. People are treated much worse doing a January 6th stuff than a murderer. So I do think that depending on what they are accused of and what they have been tried on, I think a pardon could be warranted. I don't think that anyone who violently attacks somebody should be pardoned, though.
So if they go to pardon the people convicted of seditious conspiracy that weren't involved in direct violent activity, you would support those pardons?
I'd have to see the individual case. I don't really know.
Let's get to
it's not my
just the hyper focus of January 6th. That's all this nigga Destiny want to talk about, bro.
You don't know about seditious conspiracy charges. Some of the first in decades. It's unbelievable.
I just said I'd have to look. I just said I'd have to look at them individually.
On the Hunter Biden pardon, and they don't even know.
What a great idea. I don't know if it's
read about the individual cases. I have no idea.
Before you decide.
I'll tell you what. Let Ben answer Destiny's question.
Yeah, I'll go back to this. If you look at each and every case, and you look at how they were throwing the book at everybody, there are different people that did different things. If you attacked a police officer, you deserve to be in jail for that. If you're an 87-year-old grandmother that was walking around outside the Capitol and they hunted him down and put him in jail and they didn't do anything violent, you do not deserve to be in jail for that, even if you're charged with the word seditious in any of the complaints. There are different cases and different people. And there was clear abuse of power where they walked in, they said, anyone that we got that day or anyone we have on video, even if they were nonviolent, even if they weren't doing anything, even if police officers let them into the Capitol on video, they overcharged them. And there are many people that deserve to be pardoned. If you attacked a police officer, if you broke through a door, if you were doing things like that, you absolutely deserve to be in jail for that. And it goes back to an idea. You look at each case individually and you decide based on each case individually before you do a pardon. That's what I'm in favor of. It's not insane to say I would want to look at each case to see what they actually did compared to what the government lied and said they did. There's a big difference.
Okay.
I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. 100%, yeah. Yeah, take it as a case-by-case individual thing. But Destiny, of course, he don't want to hear that. he the queen of generalizing.
Okay, hang on, please. I'm going to bring in Lindy Lee.
Is it on your beeper?
Hang on a second.
Is it on your beeper you're going to say?
Hang on.
Read your beeper again.
Hang on. I'm going to bring in Lindy Lee. I'm bringing in Lindy Lee, a member of the DNC Finance Committee, who's been highly critical.
2025. You got a beeper? I ain't seen a nigga with a beeper since I was in elementary.
The Harris campaign. Lindy, good to see you.
So I think that's where we'll call it wrap.
That's the end of it. But yeah, Destiny, he be spurring out. Destiny be having full-on meltdowns, but that's just my personal opinion. I said, let Old Navy Sweater speak, right? That's what I kept saying. Like, if y'all don't let Christmas Sweater get his ish off, let him say what he gotta say, nigga. Like, damn. Everybody just yelling. Nobody want to let Christmas Sweater get his ish off. He said, "You always got a disappointed mom look." That's funny as hell. Tell me what you guys think down in the comment section. Hit the like button, all that good stuff. That is funny. That disappointing mom look is classic.